for the types of learners, resources needed, and the two types of classes, it will be discussed by the next instructor, Mr. Harvey, Elorde.
I would like to report about the types of learners. Distance learning is appropriate to many types of learners, such as auditory, visual, kinesthetic. For auditory, we all know that these learners learn through listening. Visual is associated with images, so these learners learn through images and techniques. Next is kinesthetic, in which learning takes place by students actually carrying out physical activities such as basketball, volleyball, and badminton. Next is distance learning occurs in many ways, such as electronic classrooms. All students in multiple locations view the faculty in person over a monitor that is similar to a television screen. Next is they see each other in each location over a monitor. All students hear the same information from faculty and student peers over a monitor that is similar to a television screen. Resources, equipment and personnel that are required to teach using distance education may vary among institutions, but some basics are essential, such as transmission, technology, infrastructures, and personnel. For transmissions, they use telephone and satellites. For technology, they use hardware, computers, document camera, monitor, and facsimile cameras, codec for necessary transmission of signals. Next is infrastructures. So, example in our country, there are telecommunications such as PLDT, Smart Bro, and in infrastructures they use electronic mails. Then another is personnel. It is faculty that is responsible for teaching, like technicians and facilitators at distance locations. Resource personnel is a very important asset in distance education. They are experts in technology, facilitating lectures and staff at distance locations. Synchronous and versus asynchronous. Synchronous learners are people interact in real time through internet. Asynchronous learners are persons who view the web pages. Learners who view the web pages in their convenient time, and they are facilitated by a faculty or teacher, which his role is to guide the learners and keep them on track, providing support and motivation. As a summary, distance learning can occur simultaneously or at any given time that the students would prefer. Thank you. And the problems that may arise during distance education will be presented by Ma'am Adelene Cheng.
Now that we have already discussed what is distance learning, the type of learners, and the resources needed in using the distance learning method, we will now proceed with the use of the method. So in a distance learning program or course, it is expected that there should be good communication, detailed planning, as well as organizational skills. So prior to the first class, the facilitator or the faculty should have a thorough understanding of the technology or the delivery system. So as what Mr. Harvey Elorde have discussed a while ago, the technologies are the software, the hardware, the infrastructure. So before the first class, the faculty should have a hands-on practice first on this technology in order to have a smooth implementation of the method. So it is crucial also that there should be time spent on preparing for the first class, because this will have really a great impact all throughout the method. So according to Lowenstein, there are 7 principles of good practice in undergraduate. This is according to Chickering and Gibson. So I will be discussing the 7 principles. So the first principle is that good practice encourages student-faculty contact. So there should be a constant student-faculty contact, because this will encourage participation to the students. So the teacher or the facilitator must know the students. So this can be in a form that, like for example, there are only 40 students or less. The teacher can ask the students to introduce themselves, so that the facilitator as well as the other learners will be able to know them and know their interests or where they are from. So the faculty should also communicate to each student that they want to get to know them, that are interested in them, and that they are available in times where there are questions or clarifications regarding the lesson. So for the next principle, good practice encourages cooperation among students. So it is said that active learning can be promoted if there are collaboration with the students. So this can be in a form of case studies, presentation by the students, defense of research titles, or a problem-based learning. So for the next principle, good practice encourages active learning. So the faculty can encourage active learning by including the students in active discussion. So like for example, the faculty can ask questions regarding the topic, or can ask about the insights of the students regarding the topic. Also, if there are confusing or unclear idea, the students can openly ask the question. For the next principle, good practice gives prompt feedback. So the faculty are expected to give written or verbal feedback or evaluation to the students, so that the students will know whether they are doing good in the class discussion or not. So the evaluation will be discussed by the students. So this can be in a form of email, in a telephone call, or in person if possible. So the next principle is good practice emphasizes time on task. So when a facilitator gives assignments or group presentation, there should be time allotted for that, so that the students will develop time management as well as their planning skills. So for the next principle, good practice communicates high expectation. So at the beginning of the class, the instructor or the faculty must emphasize, be enthusiastic and emphasize high expectations, because usually students try to live up with what is expected of them. So this responsibility is mutual to both the learners and the students, because if the faculty themselves are prepared with their lesson, of course the students will learn more. Diverse talents and ways of learning. So as we all know, because distance learning involves students from distant places, so they have different ways of learning and they have different strengths and weaknesses. So the faculty members or the teacher should make sure that focus on their strengths and improve or foster improvement with their weaknesses. So I think that's it.